On your side, 75 years and counting. This is 6 News WOWT Daybreak.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for 6 News Daybreak streaming. I'm Cerise Gold. Jade Stephens is here with us. Good to have you here. Of course, meteorologist Jared Lansford also here.
Aaron Harley last. All right, we're going to check in on the forecast this morning with Jared Lansford.
Yeah, and if you're stepping out the door this morning, there's a bit of a chill in the air.
Yeah.
So even colder than we've had at times over the last week. So be ready for that. It's not just the temperature either. It's the fact that we've got some wind alongside it. It looks really nice. Look at all that sunshine. It looks beautiful. We'll have the sun through the day. It'll feel a little better later on, though. 36 where we stand with the temp. That clear sky allowed us to dip with the temps overnight, and then we've brought the wind up over the last couple of hours, too. And with that being the case, it's a wind chill in the upper 20s. So make sure the kids are dressing warm this morning as they head out the door. Now, the good news is we'll land about where we did yesterday, mid-50s for our highs today. Lots of sunshine. That will still have the wind involved, though. Yesterday was more of a north wind. We have a southeast wind in place for today. And here's how that behaves through the day. We're already in the process of starting to bring that up some. Most of the day, though, is going to have gusts up around 30 miles per hour late in the morning into the afternoon. See, even as we get past sunset, we're still looking at those kind of gusts being in place, and it's going to last into our day tomorrow. But we stay dry during the day today, just sunshine overhead. We do have some rain on the way. That arrives as we get past midnight, and you can see that that becomes a problem for our Wednesday morning commute and lasts into much of our day tomorrow. So let's walk through how things take place with that. First of all, there's how the temperatures go through the next 24 hours or so. Again, right near 56 for our peak. And then we kind of stabilize in the mid-40s overnight with the cloud cover building in and some of those showers in place alongside those winds. So as we start things off, we're actually just past 10 o'clock with where we're starting things, because before that you're just going to see a lot of clear skies in place. Clouds expanding at this point. As we get toward midnight, some spotty showers start to develop, and we'll get the rain a little bit more widespread after 2 this morning into the Wednesday morning commute. And could be a couple of rumbles of thunder alongside this, but no severe weather of any kind. Just some rain with maybe a couple of regular thunderstorms involved too. Likely a soggy commute with that rain still moving through, still pretty consistent in the area. We get later in the morning and into the afternoon, you'll see the coverage get more spotty with this, especially in the PM hours. And then we'll gradually move this off to the east and start the process of clearing things out as we head toward our Thursday. So as far as how much rain we end up seeing, a little less if you're west of the metro. You're talking about 1/4 of an inch or so there. From about the metro off to the east, that's where we pick up our higher totals. And talking about 1/2 an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch, a ceiling of getting 1 inch. Of course, getting that kind of rain would certainly be beneficial, and we still have the ongoing drought in the area.
Yeah, I know.
So not ideal timing lining up with the commute for where we have the most steady rain, but we'd take that kind of rain.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Sure. And we love that it's rain. What about the rest of the week? Is that looking pretty good?
Yeah, once we get past this rain, it looks really nice.
Okay.
We're actually teeing up a really good weekend once we get past this. So let's look at that.
All right.
People are probably excited to see that. First of all, there's how Wednesday unfolds in general. So yeah, not really the most pleasant kind of day, but we get the rain moving through the area. And then the winds will still be in place as well as we go through tomorrow as well. Here's that weekend forecast. Sunshine in place for both Thursday and Friday. We'll go from upper 50s for highs on Thursday into the 60s for Friday and Saturday. The wind does get a little more active on Saturday again, but into the mid-60s for temps. And then even though it's cooler Sunday, we're talking about less wind being in place. So there is a lot to like about how things unfold for the weekend. It looks like a great forecast there. We look at the 10-day forecast. The first half of it, we keep the temperatures 50s, 60s. We've got a couple nights there in the 30s for our lows. That includes Thursday morning, Friday morning. So if you do have pots that are outside, you're still looking at frost threat. Of course, we're really getting deep into the season as far as that goes. And then as we go through the rest of the weekend, we just walked through that. This is going to catch some eyeballs here as we get from Monday beyond. We actually have a big system that moves into the middle of the country, and there's still a lot to be worked out as far as how it all plays out, where it ends up. But rain does look possible from Monday into Wednesday. Yes, that's an icon that does include some flakes there for Wednesday night, so that is a possibility. We're going to walk through this a little bit more in detail, not very fine detail, but kind of show you what we're working through as far as how we're making the forecast, what we're watching with the system, and we'll kind of give you a bit of a better idea of what to expect with next week.
You know, everybody wants to know about this, right?
Oh, lots of questions already.
Yes.
People are jumping into winter too fast, I think. Right?
You know, I think some people want to see the snow, and some people really don't want to see the snow. So both sides are like, oh, hey, what's coming?
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on.
You're getting it all.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll switch over to traffic this morning. 2 crashes for you to talk about.
Yeah, and really close together too. On I-80, seeing a lot of backups, specifically in the westbound direction. So let's take a closer look at that traffic. And like I said, if you are heading in that direction, do anticipate some backups. We have the crash pulled over to the left side and the right side of the highway here, so make sure to stay in the center lanes if you are traveling in that direction. Taking a closer look at the map, you can see just how far backed up. It does look like the 60th crash has started to clear, but that 72nd crash likely still on the shoulder as you just saw. So take it easy if you are heading in that direction. Also want to give you a first alert. Unfortunately, there was a hit deer in the center lane. This is 29 northbound from Highway 34 between mile marker 26 and 27. So be aware of that as well. There was a stalled vehicle in the area of Maple and 72nd Street. Unclear if this has cleared, but I am still seeing a lot of slowdowns in the area. Also to note, it is approaching the closed street on Maple eastbound. So a lot going on in that area as well. Taking a wide view of the area, for the most part though, we are seeing a pretty easy commute so far this morning. It has been pretty quiet up until those crashes. However, if you're traveling from Elkhorn to downtown, about 20 minutes there. I-480 to downtown, 3 minutes. And if you're traveling in from Bellevue, I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes is what you can plan on. A couple more things to give you a first alert to. 1-lane travel. This is 72nd Street between Bedford and Maple. This will be going on for the next 6 weeks for water main break repairs. And right next to it, as I showed you where that stalled vehicle was, the road is closed. This is eastbound Maple from 70th to 62nd. This is going to be closed through the next week or so through November 25th. More lane restrictions. This is Dodge between South 49th Street and South 49th Avenue. This will be between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. So no lane restrictions at this point in the morning, but I do anticipate to see a little bit of some more slowdowns as we get towards later in the day. And one more thing to give you a heads up on, 1-lane travel. This is westbound Center Road near 124th. This will be going on for the next couple weeks for fiber optic installation. So mostly I-80, that's going to be the biggest issue for this morning. Besides that, just some regular construction that we've been having our eyes on all week.
All right. Appreciate the update, Jay. Thank you.
All right. In the meantime, an update to a story that we brought you yesterday. The Douglas County Sheriff is making good on his promise to seize cars and phones suspected of street racers. A 2020 orange Dodge Charger is the 3rd car deputies have put on a tow truck in the last week. The 23-year-old who owns that car has pled guilty to driving without insurance twice this year. He is set to go to trial today.
In this case, this young man is really a cultural center point for this dangerous street racing community. He's got his own social media channel, YouTube channel, and he claims to make money by promoting these videos of his reckless driving. And it'd be one thing if he did it in private property in which he had the ability to safely do so. He's not.
Well, the driver says he didn't know doing donuts in a parking lot was enough to get your car towed. And the Nebraska State Patrol echoing those calls to just slow down. A trooper stopped a driver recently near 60th Street and I-80 going almost 150 miles per hour. Troopers are calling the driver's actions a, quote, blatant disregard for human life. Another driver was stopped on Highway 30 for going more than 100 in a 70 zone. The patrol is asking drivers to just make better choices.
All right, now to the 6 on your side safety desk with our Maria Cade. Maria has some really good information for parents. This is all about vaping.
Yeah, e-cigarettes, they're becoming so popular nowadays and, really skyrocketing. So we want to first alert you to some loopholes that one study is actually focusing on that your kids could be using to gain access to these e-cigs. Now, you have to be 21 to buy tobacco products, and retailers are required to verify that age with a photo ID. You also need to get that ID scanned if you're getting these products delivered. Now, in the study, researchers tried to buy flavored vapes from 78 websites and get them delivered to homes. Now, they found among 105 deliveries, the delivery people scanned the buyer's ID only one time. 78% of the products were delivered with no interaction with that delivery person at all. Another 16% spoke with the delivery person, but there wasn't an ID check, and only 5.7% had their ID checked, but it wasn't scanned like required. Now, the researchers also reported about 80% of the orders were delivered by the U.S. Postal Service, but this is pretty interesting because the Postal Service actually is not allowed to ship e-cigarettes and vaping products. So it looks like there's going to be more to the story, something that we'll definitely keep an eye on.
All right, Maria, thank you. Also kind of switching gears now. It looks like you have the latest on a study over blood pressure.
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting too. Something that we could probably expect, but it's interesting to hear it laid out. So researchers from the journal Circulation, they were looking at data from nearly 15,000 people. They wore activity monitors and had their blood pressure tracked during the research. Now, the authors broke down the day's activities into 6 different categories: sleep, sedentary behavior, slow walking, fast walking, standing, and more vigorous exercise. Now, they noticed that replacing downtime with an activity, it has a positive impact on your health. What do you know? So much so, though, even 5 minutes more of exercise could actually lower your blood pressure. Now, one professor who was not a part of the study, he says doing 10 minutes more, that might be able to reduce the risk for heart disease and stroke. But of course, it's important to note that the study's observational, which means, it's only showing an association between these, but can't say for sure whether or not that blood pressure was actually decreased, but you probably, you have to think it does have a positive effect for sure.
Well, and doctors have been saying for so long, getting in those steps every single day is the best way to lose weight, is the best way to have overall health. So,
well, and we see that too with the rise in popularity of Apple Watches, where you could track your steps and activity and everything. It's becoming more and more popular.
Always doing it every day. All right, Maria, thank you so much. All right, we'll be back after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. Cool and dry right now, but we will get some rain showers tonight.
Yeah, we could still use that rain too.
Oh, for sure.
Still a drought ongoing, so bringing that through tonight into tomorrow going to be helpful. And even beyond that, we aren't really looking at any rain chances for the rest of the week. Once that does clear in the second half of our Wednesday, we'll be sunny for our Thursday, Friday, and on into the weekend. We're looking at some improving conditions through there. Again, looking at half an inch to perhaps an inch for much of the area from what we see tonight into tomorrow. So certainly that will be beneficial for us. As far as temperatures go, our average high this time of year, 53 degrees, and we're right near there for our high today on into the next couple of days. We'll be looking at the case through Thursday, but you notice a warming trend too. By the time we get to Friday, Saturday, we're talking about 60s for highs, a little cooler on Sunday, but mid-50s, what we're looking at there. So pretty tranquil once we get past the rain that we see tonight on into tomorrow. All right, let's dive in. Next week is what we're going to be talking about in a bit. First, we got to talk about the football forecast here. The Cornhuskers going to USC. Looks like things cooperate there. Low 60s, partly cloudy. A little cooler if you're going to Ames. Cincinnati coming to visit for that game. That starts at 7 p.m. and it'll be cooling from that 54-degree temp as the game goes on. So dress warm if you're heading to that one. The Hawkeyes have the bye. All right, now let's dive into what we've got next week. And this is a system that's grabbing a lot of attention from Monday on through about Wednesday or Thursday of next week. It's a pretty strong system, and there are some varying things that we're seeing on the models. There's a reason why we don't get into the details quite this far out. So let me walk you through two different models and what's happening with these. Pretty certain that we're seeing some rain Monday night out of this. This particular model swings this off to the east and then dries us out. You can see there's some snow falling there off to our northwest in South Dakota, western Nebraska, but it stays away from us as we go into our Wednesday, our Thursday. We're still dry at this point. We're probably looking at a lot of cloud cover. However, a different model brings that rain in Monday night. That's one of the consistent things we're seeing with this. As we get into our Tuesday, we get that pocket of drier air, but know what happens with this snow here as we make our way into Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We start to try to bring that in as we get late Wednesday night and bring that into our area. Now, a couple things as you're all kind of exclaiming right now at home. Keep in mind, we've had temperatures in the 50s, 60s. This would melt as it hits the ground if this situation does unfold. And we're not talking a lot of snow. It just would be our first snow of the season if this happened. So you can see there two very different scenarios of how things play out. And you can see that this does switch back to rain on this model. We dry things out after that. So there's a lot to be worked through with this. But I wanted to peel the curtain back and show you what we're looking at with that system since it's getting a lot of attention. I've already been asked about amounts. We're not going to talk amounts yet, and it's too far away. But that's the scenario with that. Until then, pretty quiet. We're looking at some rain that's in place tonight into tomorrow, and some warm sunshine for the weekend.
Jared, we were talking about this before, but do you always kind of feel like the first potential snow of the season gets a lot of people talking, either that they want the snow or that they don't want the snow?
Oh, absolutely. And it's been, 6 months or so since we've had any kind of snow. And that first snow, a lot of times, the roads kind of end up in chaos mode. So it's going to take an adjustment. If we do get that, eventually we will get snow. So we'll be first alerting you to what to expect with this as we get closer and how all of this unfolds as we make our way toward the middle of next week and what to expect with this system. It likely happens at night. Notice the temperatures get cold enough to get toward that snow zone there, if it's going to happen. But we go forward, you'll notice wetter than average continues to look a little bit more likely in our area, even as we start to approach Thanksgiving. And the deeper we get in the season, we keep looking at that wetter than average, you're going to run into snow because there's going to be colder air in place. Also looks like we're maybe starting to exit that warmer than average range. So Rusty's got his winter outlook coming up on Thursday, so he'll have the full forecast for what he's seeing for the season then.
Looking forward to that.
It's just an estimate, too. I mean, he can only do so much, right?
Well, yeah, it's what he's seeing. It's a forecast, so things will change from that.
That's a good idea.
Definitely.
Yes. All right, you are still watching that traffic on I-80, those two crashes.
Still a lot going on I-80 westbound. That's approaching 72nd Street. And taking a look at the traffic here, you can see on both sides of the highway, there are stalled vehicles on the left and on the right. So if you are heading in that direction or plan to head in this area, make sure to stay in the center lanes if possible. Of course, we're seeing some slowdowns. It's not standstill traffic, but certainly slower than you would usually anticipate. And let's take a closer look at the map here, and I can show you it is backed up all the way to about 42nd Street or so do expect some slowdowns. Besides that, traffic is moving along pretty well on this Tuesday morning. A few things I want to give you a heads up to, especially in the Midtown downtown area. Lane restrictions are still going on for streetcar work. This has been going on for months now. This is between 10th and 38th on Farnham, and a few of those changes for this week. South 28th Street is closed between Farnham and Douglas. This will be in effect for the next month or so. This is for streetcar work, and you can see a little bit of some slowdowns in the area because of that. Lane restrictions as well on South 29th Street and Dewey Avenue. This is going to be in effect for the next week, and do expect slowdowns as well. 28th Street is closed. This is between Mason and Leavenworth, or the I-480 ramp. This will be going on for the next 10 days, and as you can see, getting on that off ramp from 480, it's very slow because of this closed street. So if you are heading out in the Midtown area, make sure to be aware of that. Varying lane restrictions as well on coming. That's just east of Saddle Creek. That'll be scheduled through the 24th. But all things considered, besides those things are moving along okay this morning.
We like to see green. All right, Jade,
Yes.
thanks. Coming up this morning, it's a puzzle that's frustrated many people for many years.
Yeah, despite this, we're still honoring it. Coming up after this short break. Well, a landmark anniversary celebrated by puzzle lovers.
That's right. It's been 50 years since the Rubik's Cube officially came out. The iconic 3x3 grid has stumped many, many players. It sold 500 million toys.
Look how fast they're going. Look
We
how
know
fast
Cerise
they're
has
going.
done it.
Yeah.
Any of you guys?
No, I've tried. Never any luck.
Never succeeded.
It stumped me too.
Okay.
So,
You never got a perfect puzzle?
I have not.
No.
No, I'm
you
not,
said
not
you've-
that good.
You've gotten it.
I have.
You weren't just pulling the stickers
I
off.
wasn't pulled this. I didn't pull the stickers. Although I've seen people pull the stickers. And yes. No, I've done it before.
Good job.
Nice.
Impressive.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in today's show. We're going to give you a bird's eye view while we get to work. You can watch the cut-in on this stream or over the air. You have options.
All right. Have a great start to your Tuesday.
On your side, 75 years and counting. This is 6 News WOWT Daybreak Update.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get an update on traffic this morning. I-80 is still looking slow, Jade.
Yeah, very slow. We had a few crashes. One still remains, but traffic is getting slower and slower as more people hit the road. As you can see, there's a car on the left and right shoulder. So if you are heading that direction, this is approaching 72nd Street westbound. Make sure to try to get in the center lanes there. A closer look at the map, you can see it's backed up all the way past 42nd Street. I saw some red on the map just a few seconds ago. If you are traveling in that area, do be aware of that. And let's get a check of weather with Jarrett.
All right, thanks, Jade. Pretty slow there on I-80. As we start things off, you've also got to deal with the sunshine. That's going to be right in your face. 36 degrees where we stand. A chill in the air. Some winds that are picking up out of the southeast, making it feel like the 20s as we start off our day. There's the overall picture of where we stand. A lot of us in the 30s with wind chills in the upper 20s. So dress warm early today. As we go through the day, we'll top out in the mid-50s, have that sunshine in place. We'll see rain chances increase as we head into the night tonight. There you can see how that takes place. And we get toward about midnight is where we start to bring those in, lasting through the night and on into our Wednesday. We'll also be looking at the winds pretty active through that stretch all the way into tomorrow before we dry things out once we make our way into our Thursday.
Well, the Nebraska State Patrol calling for drivers to slow down. The trooper stopped the driver near 60th and I-80 going almost 150 miles an hour. Another driver was stopped on Highway 30 for going more than 100 in a 70 zone. The patrol is asking drivers to simply make better choices.
All right, it is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.